We're good.
All right. All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Dick Anderson. I am the Regional Sports Director for Special Olympics Maryland, and most of you, if not all of you, would know me as the powerlifting sports lead for, I believe this is my third year now. I could be wrong, maybe 4, but I think it's only 3. Sometimes the years start to blend together a little bit. Here's the agenda for this evening. We're going to go over some general event information, and we also have Steve Bennett on the call. So if there are any general event questions, Steve would be the best person to answer those for you. We're going to go over entries. There's a interesting discrepancy, but we'll cover that real quick. We'll go over the schedule for powerlifting. We'll go over the venue for powerlifting. Then we'll briefly go over some rules reminders, no real updates, nothing's changed, and I won't read through all of what I have rules-wise on the slides, because it's just a repeat of what we've already covered in the pre-season webinar. We'll cover some miscellaneous stuff, and then we'll open it up to some questions. Overall event schedule, delegation registration will be from 7:30 to 8:30. The difference for this is in previous years, if you've entered that lower floor hallway and gone to the back of that hallway past the arena, that's typically where we've had our check-in. In the cycling or spinning room, that is not where we're having check-in this year. We're having check-in upstairs, the second floor of the arena, in the Horning Hospitality Suite. So when you walk in those same front doors, you would actually just proceed up the staircase that's in the center right when you open those doors, as opposed to walking around either side of the staircase. And then at the end of that hallway is where the control center would be. Now, if you're coming in from the other side of the building, where you pass the tennis courts on your left, then the control center would actually be just inside those doors up top on your left. Delegations, we'll ask delegations to assemble in the seating areas, or their seating areas from 8:30 to 9. The opening ceremony is 9 to 9:45. Competition 10 to 5 o'clock. It'll vary a little bit, and as all of you know, with powerlifting, there is some turnover, and sometimes that turnover takes more than 15 minutes. Usually takes about a half an hour. So we try to get started at 10:30 at the absolute latest, just to ensure that we have everything set up and ready to go after opening ceremony. And then family hospitality is 10 to 4. And Steve, is that still the correct location, or has that moved?
Yeah, it will be, actually no, it's not in the field house. It's going to be up there where the delegation registration on the upper level of the arena, and it will be right across, if you walk up those steps like Nick was saying, the steps that are where the weigh-in rooms occur, walk up the steps, it'll be directly to your left down a little hallway right across from where the concession area will be. And then just so you know, we're also looking to have a small hospitality area down by the flag football and long distance running events as well.
Perfect. Thank you, Steve. Yeah, so for your family members, just let them know that the family hospitality area has moved. Unfortunately, it's not the easy walk across the hall, but it still is very, very easily accessible. Just head up the stairs. Actually, you can walk up the bleachers that are in the powerlifting venue and access the second floor that way. So really, they just would have to walk to the top of the bleachers within the arena and then head to the outside hallway. And also, Mike and Steve, you may be able to answer this for me. There's a set of stairs right by the entrance doors to the arena, correct? Just inside the arena to also access the second level?
Yeah, and also there's also, for those who may be there at the bleachers or in the lower level, there is also an elevator to take the family members up and down for those who would need access to an elevator.
Yep, so just make sure that everyone in your delegation is aware that some of those things have changed, but don't worry, everything will be marked There will be plenty of signage, so you'll be able to find it. And if not, you can simply ask one of us, and we'll direct you to where you need to go. Delegation registration, so there'll be packets, just like there were last year, for each sport within the delegation. So flag football would be the only one where there's multiple packets because there's different teams. For each of us, or for us, for powerlifting, each county gets one packet. And then the head coach or the HOD can pick up the packet for that sport. And at that time, when you pick up your packet, that's when you'll need to report the scratches. So they can be removed from the games overall. But please, once you arrive to your venue, then just let me know about scratches so we can remove them from the lift cards. Here's the layout of the facilities. Nothing has changed as far as location of anything, minus, again, once you're inside the building. The control center again has moved up to the second floor. But other than that, everything is in the exact same location as it was the year before. Oops. Opening ceremonies, again, opening ceremonies will begin at 9 o'clock in the arena. Lunches will be delivered to each sports venue at approximately 11 o'clock. The team, or for in our case, the delegation, would need to pick up their lunches as a group. Orders should have been sent in. If you know that you have not sent in an order for lunch, right when you get off this call, please check with your area director via phone to make sure that they've sent it in. And if not, please just make sure that gets in, because that was due on the 10th. And I believe first thing in the morning when Steve comes in, that's the first thing he's doing. So after tomorrow morning, there's no guarantee that we can place an additional order. So please make sure that
Let me hit on that.
in. Go ahead.
You don't, Nick. Yeah, if we don't have the orders for this for the powerlifting group for your county program by tomorrow morning, we will provide you lunch. However, we at the state office will determine which of those options your program will be and your lifters will be receiving. So the choices were turkey and cheese, and I think a veggie. So if special dietary needs that were not submitted, we will do our best to help alleviate those issues. But yeah, by tomorrow morning, we've got to make the call to the university to submit the orders. So we may have to make the executive decision on what you get for lunch.
Perfect. Thank you, Steve, for the clarification.
Yep.
And then again, concessions will be available. Just your normal, we can call it just your normal college concession stand type concessions. And that is on the upper level of the arena. So again, the same hallway that Family Hospitality and the control center is in, that's going to be the same hallway that the concession stand will be in. Family Hospitality, we already covered that. Just make sure you stress with people that that is for family members only, not for athletes or just general volunteers. That is specifically for family members. Event guide. The event guide will be mailed out on or before this Friday. That is going to all head coaches, assistant coaches, and HODs.
And it was actually emailed out about an hour and a half to 2 hours ago, so it should be in everyone's hands. If you don't have it or you did not receive it, please contact your area director because it was already sent.
Thank you, Steve. And then in the event guide, there is the event evaluation survey link, and we would encourage every member of the delegation and family members to please complete that by November 13th, so we can take that feedback into consideration for improvements for the future. Parade of athletes, same as last year. We are doing 2 members for each delegation. You do not, as a coach, do not need to submit names to us, but what I would ask you to do is just double check with your area director that those people have been selected. And if they say they have not, feel free to nominate 2 athletes from your powerlifting team. The HODs must report to the opening ceremony staging area in the field house with the names of the banner carriers no later than 8:30 a.m. The morning of
Powerlifting meet.
And then any delegation anyone who's having a background conversation, we can't hear you, so if you would mind actually just pressing *6 on your phone, would be greatly appreciated. Thank you. Any delegation who does not report with a banner holder by 8:30 a.m. will not have will not have banner holders in the parade. Steve, that's the end of the event-specific information. Was there anything that's been asked in previous webinars that you would like to hit that wasn't covered in the slides?
No, you did good there, Nick. I think you covered everything.
Perfect. All right. Okay, so the slight discrepancy that I noted, currently registered in GMS, there are 66 athletes participating in the bench press, 65 in the deadlift, and only 49 in the combined. What I'm going to do tomorrow, just because if an athlete is competing in the bench press and the deadlift, there's no reason for them not to be in the combined. They've already, at the end of the competition, already completed what they need to complete for the combined event. So just to let everyone know, I am going to go through and add the combined event for every athlete who is competing in both bench press and deadlift and not currently registered. But just wanted to point this out as a note for future years. Please just double check with your area directors or your GMS person that when they register your athletes for powerlifting, if there is an athlete in bench press and deadlift, that they be entered in combined as well. Some of the area GMS people might not realize what the combined event is and might not realize that's an automatic if they compete in the two events. So just in the future, just please note that when you send in your roster. All right. So information for the starting lifts, there is going to be a document. I'm going to jump ahead and I'll show you that. This document is an Excel spreadsheet. It will be sent out the follow-up for this email. If every team could please return that to me by next Monday. It's Monday, October 17th. And then again, I would just need your area, county, the first and last name of the athlete, their age, their gender, the starting lift for the bench press and the deadlift. If they are only competing in one, feel free to just leave that blank. And then their body weight. So that's the most recent body weight you have for them. As everyone knows, we'll do weigh-ins first thing in the morning. But if you could please just give us the most recent body weight you have, just so we can start some of the visioning process ahead of time, and there's a little less legwork to do on site after we do the official weigh-ins. All right, powerlifting schedule, and I just noticed right now that I left something off here. Sorry about that, folks. So powerlifting schedule, again, there's delegation check-in at 7:30. Opening ceremony begins at 9. We will begin weigh-ins at 8 o'clock. I did not note that on here. So let me do that right now real quick. Then the coaches meeting will happen in the stage area, as it has in past years, at 10 o'clock. So that's immediately following, pretty closely immediately following the completion of opening ceremonies. We'll actually do that while the gym is being turned over. And then competition will begin, as I mentioned, around around 10:15 to 10:30, just depending on how long it takes us to turn over the gym after opening ceremonies. All right, come on. There we go. Powerlifting venue, Same layout as it's been in previous years. No change to the layout. There is some change to the actual competition as far as equipment goes. So we will be getting equipment from the same company or the same group that provided and ran the USA Games back in 2013 in the Princeton, New Jersey area. So we will have certified weight benches. We will have a significant increase in the warm-up area and weight that's available in the warm-up area. If I remember correctly, we have 5 warm-up benches and then warm-up areas for the deadlift. If everything operates correctly, we will have projection screens with lifting software, as well as the lighting system to show whether lifts are good or not. Of course, we will have all of our paper copy backups and red and white judges' flags just in case there's any hiccups with technology. But it's looking like we'll have a very nice setup this year. Rules reminders. Again, I'm not going to go ahead and read through all of this just because this is just old news for all the returning coaches. Just hit on a few things that, again, lifting costumes, they should be the one-piece, full-length lifting suits. Undershirts are allowed for men. They are mandatory for women. Long socks must be worn for the deadlift. Wraps, wrist wraps, the maximum width for them is 8 centimeters. And then knee wraps cannot exceed 2 meters in length and 8 centimeters in width. And then chalk. Chalk will be provided by the company that's providing the equipment. So this year there will be chalk. But if you are a program that has brought it in the past, I believe, right off the top of my head, I think Montgomery and Howard typically bring their own. Feel free to still bring your own just in case. I don't know, it runs out or the company forgets it, whatever the situation may be. Feel free to bring your own just in case. Again, bench press, we're not going to come over all of these. Make sure that, or go over all these. Just make sure your lifters are, fully aware of proper lifting techniques. That they should wait for the official signals at all times. Things of that nature. Again, causes for disqualifications. We cover all of these in the preseason webinar. I'm not going to go ahead and read through all of these, but when this is sent out, you can go ahead and read through them. All right. Deadlift, same thing. I'm not going to go through all of this. It's the same as it's always been. The same as we covered in the preseason webinar. Just again, remind your lifters about proper lifting techniques, and then so listen to all of the referee officials' commands. Again, same thing with causes of disqualification. And then combined, as I mentioned, for an athlete to be in the combined, they must do the bench and the deadlift. Then those scores are combined, and then the final score is the 2 scores combined. Yeah, and then the final note at the bottom, if for any of the 2 lifts or either of the 2 events, I should say, if all 3 of their lifts are unsuccessful. So if one of your guys or gals benches and is not able to complete a proper bench on all 3 of their attempts, then they will be automatically eliminated from the combined event. Just some miscellaneous stuff. As we've done in the past, results will be posted in the arena. I will have the lifting sheets and the flights posted as Len has done in the past. I should have started with that. Spoke with Len about a week ago or so. Finally was able to get hold of him. He will not be returning this year. He is moved into his new house in Georgia and is doing very well. Just could not make it up this year. Just didn't work out with the new house and everything going on down there for him. So he hopes to make it back in future years, but will not be back this year. Again, I will have lifting sheets and flights posted on the wall like Glenn has done in the past. We will post results up there at the completion of the competition, just following the awards presentation. Protest forms can be submitted by an area certified head coach and only by the head coach. They will be submitted to the scorers table 30 minutes after the posted results. And then if a decision is made that you would wish to appeal, appeals would have to be filed within 24 hours in the control center. And Mike, that has to be done by the HOD, correct? An appeal to a protest?
Yeah.
Or Steve? Yeah, okay. So that would have to be done by your head of delegation at that point. Special needs. Now, this doesn't go for lunches, which Steve mentioned earlier, but this is specifically for competition. If there are any special requests or things of that nature, accommodations or modifications that are within the rules that any of your lifters need to operate by, please email those to me. Even if it's something that I've seen in the past, and it's something that's happened the past couple of years, please just email me anyways to remind me that, hey, so-and-so has this modification. More than likely, once we get on site, I will remember it when I see the athlete. But just in case, please email them to me, even if the athlete has been doing it for using that modification for years and years, just to make sure that there's no issues or concerns once we arrive on site. And the medical services, medical will be on site roving. They will be easy to pick out. They have a bright orange shirt. They'll be carrying a medical bag. If you need a medical person and do not immediately see them, then find myself or another staff member or another individual, any individual with a radio. Let us know that you need medical, and we'll get on the radio and get them there as soon as possible. All right, any questions, either related to powerlifting or, since we have Steve, any questions related specifically to the games overall? Nope. All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us. This information will be sent out some point tomorrow. If at that point you have any questions, please feel free. You can work through your regional sports director if you would like, but at this point, it might be easier for you to just go ahead and contact me directly if you have any questions. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, and I look forward to seeing everyone next weekend.
Thank you, Nick.
Thanks. Have a good weekend.